Isn't that lovely? Bit of bird song. Feels like spring is in the air. Well, it doesn't if you look out of the window. It's raining, it's windy, it's horrible. 9C, which is 48 Fahrenheit, 93% humidity, 995 millibars. That's low. The air pressure is low. That's bad. The lower it gets, stormy weather, windy, horrible rain. The higher it gets, sunshine, blue skies. The flag, there's not much point in talking about the flag. It's wrapped round the pole, soaking wet, doing nothing. So that's that. I can tell you what the temperature is up at 64,000 feet if you're interested. That's higher than aircraft go. It's minus 60 C, minus 60 centigrade. Shall I tell you how I know? Because I'm a nerd, I follow these radio sondes, S-O-N-D-E, you know, the weather balloons. I can track them on a map, and on my radio equipment, I can listen to the signal from them. They go beep, beep, beep like that. You don't want to know that, do you? And you get the information back on the computer screen. So at 64,000 feet, stone the crows, it's minus 60 centigrade. What happens is, as it gets higher, the balloon, because the air pressure is so low, the balloon eventually bursts. Then a little parachute comes out, and it comes all the way down, all the way down in the sea or somewhere on the land. And a friend of mine, or two friends of mine, and we go hunting them sometimes. You can see on the map where it comes down. If they're anywhere near us, we go and get them. And you're allowed to keep them. You don't have to send them back to the weather station or wherever it is. You're allowed to keep them. And what a friend of mine does, he modifies them and puts them on the amateur band. Well, I won't go into all that because that's boring, but we can use them as radio beacons quite legally. So there we are. You know what the weather's like up there, so don't complain that it's cold here. Imagine minus 60 here. What's that in Fahrenheit? I dread to think. You can work that one out. The weather balloon I'm following at the moment has come out of Brest in France. That's B-R-E-S-T, not B-R-E-A-S-T. Brest. There are several that come out of the UK. Camborne, is it? Dorset, Cornwall, all over the place. Several of them come out of the UK. They normally launch the balloons about 6 in the morning, but there are none. Let me just look on the map. Nothing. No, there's only the one from Brest at the moment that's up in the air. Shall we move on from that? I just feel that you've all dozed off. You're not listening. You're snoring. I wake up very early, as you know, and of course it's dark at 4:30. It's dark at 5:30. It's dark at 6:30. This morning, it wasn't really daylight at 8 o'clock. It was not pitch dark, of course, but doom and gloom, rain, wind, horrible. I do not like these dark mornings or evenings. 4 in the afternoon, I'm putting the light on. But I suppose that's the winter month. When is winter? I never know when winter starts. Is it now? I shall have to check that. Bangers and mash. Who likes bangers and mash? That's a good meal, isn't it? Perhaps with peas or whatever. Apparently it's being replaced. A lot of people are going for this Asian sticky beef. No, I don't know what that is either. Well, I do. It's Asian sticky beef. They were saying on the telly this morning about this Asian sticky beef replacing bangers and mash as a popular sort of English dish, you know, bangers and mash, fish and chips, all very English, beans on toast. And it's the same with Christmas dinner, the good old traditional Christmas dinner. People now have curry. What? Curry for Christmas? Stone the crows, what's going on? Talking of beans on toast, when you go on holiday to Spain in the old days, in the 70s, big signs everywhere, beans on toast. I don't want beans on toast in Spain. Full English breakfast. I don't want a full English breakfast in Spain. What is Red Barrel? Double Diamond. Drink Double Diamond here. Oh, I don't know. I wonder whether it's the same if you go to Benidorm these days. Are there all these English type or British type cafes and pubs and bars and whatever selling bangers and mash? Well, now they'll be selling Asian sticky beef, it seems. Charlie, nice to hear from you. You're in the UK. You're not King Charlie, are you, by any chance? No, I suppose not. I wonder whether the King listens to my podcast. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Perhaps it wouldn't. Charlie says, do you have to keep going on about Christmas? I'm not going on about it. I suppose I did the other day, didn't I, Charlie? I did mention Christmas quite a bit in the midweek message, wasn't it? I went on about Christmas quite a lot. So I've been reprimanded by Charlie. He says you should move on. He says that I'm old-fashioned. Oh, and I'm living in the past. I just like Christmas the way it was, Charlie. Making our own decorations as kids, having a bit of fun. The Christmas tree and all that. Apparently some supermarkets that are selling pretend, false Christmas trees, it just says festive tree on the box or evergreen. And that's annoying people. They're saying it's not an evergreen tree. For a start, it's plastic. And secondly, it's a Christmas tree. It's been a Christmas tree for the last 5 million years. Now it seems they're changing that. This is all going on all over the place though, isn't it? Things are changing. In fact, Charlie, I like everything from the good old days. I like the way things were then. Things were simple, weren't they? Things were easy. The music was lovely. Now here's the thing. I've been moaning about Noddy Holder. It's Christmas, and Slade singing that awful Christmas song. It's a good Christmas song. It's just that we've heard it so many hundreds of thousand times now, it's boring. Bit like my podcast, when you've listened to about 100 of them, you think, I've had enough of this. Well, I hope you don't think that. But the point I'm trying to make is the music, the Christmas songs, they're decades old, some of them, and they're still going strong. Going back to the 60s when the Beatles started out, the Rolling Stones, all the bands, all the groups, they're called bands now, aren't they? I get lost with that. They used to be groups. I think they're now bands. So, okay, whatever. Can't keep up with all this changing. It was great music. Can you hear those seagulls? Probably a storm on the way. That's why I like the old days. The cars. I'm not going to go on, but the cars, wooden dashboard, walnut dashboard. All right, it was veneer. But a veneer walnut dashboard, lovely. Oil gauge, ammeter, temperature gauge, all this stuff, it's all gone now, it's all plastic. I won't go on about that because I did have a few emails a little while ago saying, do you have to keep mentioning horrible grey injection moulded plastic dashboards? Okay, I won't mention that anymore. But they are horrible grey injection moulded plastic dashboards, aren't they? Unless you buy a Rolls Royce, you might get a bit of plastic wood then. I've just been on the computer trying to work out minus 60 centigrade in Fahrenheit. It won't do it. I don't think you can do that in Fahrenheit because it would be minus something daft. I don't know. Anyway, it seems you can't do that. I did try though. I did try. I'm also looking up Asian sticky beef to see what it is. Made from fresh ingredients, this tasty, sticky Asian-style beef is great midweek meal served as a rice salad bowl. What's a rice salad bowl? I don't know any of this foreign stuff. Stone the crows. You can serve it on steamed... What's a bao bun? Bao bun? Do they mean bread rolls? With fresh veggies, hoisin sauce. Anyone heard of hoisin sauce? I have brown sauce or red sauce, that's it. That's the extent of my experimenting. And Kewpie mayo. This is perfect for entertaining. I don't think it would entertain me. Kewpie mayo. Cook the beef in a slow cooker, quick and easy to serve at the end of a busy day. Intense flavour as the sauce cooks through the beef. No. I think I'll stick to beans on toast in Spain with a pint of Watley's Red Barrel. Let's go back to the 1950s, okay? 1950s, you buy a chocolate cake from the shops, or Mum makes it herself. Ingredients: flour, eggs, milk, butter, cocoa powder, baking powder, vanilla and salt. Oh, baking soda, that's it. 1950s chocolate cake. Modern supermarket chocolate cake. Listen to this. Fortified wheat flour, sugar, glucose syrup, invert sugar, vegetable oils, rapeseed palm, cocoa powder, often alkacid, I can't read that, egg powders, pasteurised or dried, emulsifiers E471, 472B, 422, E76, what's this? Humestants, glycerine, sorbitol, preservatives, potassium, sorbate, calcium, propium, something or other, stabilisers and thickeners, xanthan gum, guar gum, cellulose gum. You spray cars, don't you, with cellulose paint. Raising agents, sodium bicarbonate, monochlorous phosphate, colours, e.g. caramel, artificial or natural flavourings, glazes and coatings. Stone the crows, it's meant to be a chocolate cake. Sounds like a chemistry set that you've made your own cake out of chemicals. What is happening? What's happened to our food? Seriously, it is worrying, isn't it? Because you just You're taking in all these chemicals and preservatives and colourings and flavourings. In fact, what did I hear recently? You know, is it Cadbury's or someone, the Club bar? The advert was, if you want a lot more chocolate or something, buy a Club. Well, they've now had to change that because it's not chocolate. There's so little chocolate in it. They've now had to call it a chocolate flavoured bar. So it's not chocolate at all. It's just crazy, isn't it? We don't eat any of this rubbish. I don't have, what was it, hoisin sauce on sticky cows or something, whatever it was. I don't have any of this rubbish. Proper homemade bread. Tricia makes lovely loaves of bread. Okay, it's in a bread maker. It's not in an oven. You know, it's not in a cooking range where you pile coal in the bottom to keep it hot. It's in a bread maker, but it's lovely. We know what's in it. We haven't filled it with emulsifiers and preservatives and raising agents and goodness knows what else you might find in a kid's chemistry set in the good old days. Talking of Tricia, the other day she made her own homemade cranberry sauce ready for our Christmas dinner. No, we're not putting it on curry. She's also made mango chutney because we have homemade curry. The mango chutney we buy from the supermarket, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's some kind of jelly. It looks just like jelly and it tastes, I don't know, it's got a weird chemical taste to it. Tricia's homemade mango chutney tastes like mangoes. Is that unusual? It is these days. She makes her own mincemeat. She makes her own Christmas puddings. She makes her own everything because it's a hobby. I know it's unusual these days to find cooking as a hobby. Of course, she's retired. Women these days, of course, young mums, family, work, they haven't got time to make your own chutney and your own whatever. You just can't do it. There's no time for anything like that. I suppose if you go to, I don't know where, maybe Harrods, possibly, would Harrods sell decent cranberry sauce, proper mango chutney, you know, that tastes of mangoes? I suppose you can buy expensive brands, can't you? If you go up the supermarket and buy something, you know, for 7 and 6pence halfpenny, then it's going to be a bit, I don't know, a bit iffy. Well, not iffy, just not to my liking, not to my taste, put it that way. Tricia's mum likes decent marmalade, as I do, and she pays £10 for a jar of marmalade. £10. Same with honey. I think her jars of honey are about £10 each. Up the supermarket, what are they, 17 and 6pence? I don't know what they are. But it's decent stuff. It tastes of what it's supposed to be. You never know these days. What's all this Greek style feta cheese? How can it be Greek style? Feta cheese is feta cheese, isn't it? If you make it in England, well, it's not Greek. It's not even Greek style. I've never understood that. There's the doorbell now. No peace for the wicked. It's our next door neighbour. Can I put Christmas lights all over your camellia bush and up your cherry tree? Of course you can. Saves me doing it. And it's his electricity bill. Am I mean? Yes, of course I am. Seriously, it's really good. He loves the lights and everything out there. Let him do that on our cherry tree and things. So going back to this food business, Greek-style yoghurt. What is Greek-style? Winemakers in the UK might as well say French-style white wine. I suppose it's the supermarkets trying to sell stuff, isn't it? You look at feta cheese, it says the word Greek on it. Oh, I'll buy that, it's Greek. It's not Greek at all. It was made down the East End of London. Oh, talking of the East End of London, well, not quite, Salisbury Plain. Salisbury in the UK. There's a weather balloon just been launched from there, so I'm tracking that one now. I won't tell you about it because you might doze off again and start snoring. By the way, I left the doorbell in. I would normally edit that out, but I did say some time ago I wouldn't delete the outtakes, you know. I wouldn't do that. I'd leave outtakes in, so they're intakes, is that right? So you'll have to put up with stuff like that. I did a kind of poll, didn't I? I asked people what they thought, and everyone said, well, almost everyone said, leave the outtakes in. My neighbour is out there up a ladder, putting lights around our bush and our tree, and it just started lashing with rain. It's supposed to be sunny. They said sunshine after the rain at about, I don't know, mid-morning. Well, where's the sunshine? The flag now is a gale from the west, and it is lashing with rain. What is the point of having a weather forecast? What's that weather balloon doing up at 64,000 feet? It's probably saying, oh, it's nice and sunny. There's no rain. No, of course there's no rain up there. What's the point of having a weather balloon at 64,000 feet? Actually, that's a good question. What's it doing up there? I know it sends back the temperature and the wind speed and all that sort of thing. I suppose, is it what's up there? The jet stream, isn't it? Perhaps it's monitoring that. I don't know what it's doing. Bob, over there in the US of A, nice to hear from you. Picture of your Christmas tree. That's nice. You're sitting with Val, your wife, by the Christmas tree, enjoying a glass of port and lemon. There we are. Worth a try, wasn't it? Port and lemon. It is rather nice. Susan, thanks for your email. I have answered that one. Your daughter-in-law's waiting to have surgery. Let's hope everything goes fine for her. Fingers crossed. Our niece, as I said, had her appendix out the other day. She's all okay now. That's a minor operation, isn't it, though, these days? Susan likes the term that Tricia uses for Prime Minister's question time, the farmyard. It sounds like a farmyard, doesn't it? All this shouting going on. Honestly, it's dreadful. Lovely to hear from you, Susan. If anyone else wants to contact me, raise rants at protonmail.com. We haven't had any shout-outs recently, but funnily enough, I had one about 10 minutes ago, which is from an expat living in Spain, and that is Colin and his wife Mary. Big shout-out to Colin and wife Mary in Spain. You haven't said where in Spain. It's a big country, isn't it? What's the weather doing down there in Spain? I say down there because it's south of us. I bet it's not pouring with rain like it is here. Lovely to hear from you. Anyone else want to shout out anywhere in the world? Loads of countries we haven't heard from yet. Greenland. Anyone in Greenland listening? Why do they call it Greenland when it's permanently white with snow? Should have been White Land. I've just had an email, which is nice. John says, do you remember having a puncture outfit for your bicycle back in the old days? I do, John. I do, a puncture outfit. You had that tube of glue stuff, didn't you? Then you had some French chalk, a little block of that, a kind of cheese grater for the French chalk. Then the patches, of course. What else was in? Oh, valve rubber. Do you remember the little valve rubber things? They were in there as well. I do remember puncture outfits. I had many of them over the years. We were always getting punctures, weren't we, back then on our bicycles? I don't know why. Also, the old cars, the vintage type cars, they had inner tubes like the bicycle did, and you could repair with a big puncture outfit, of course. The garage would normally do it. They'd take the wheel off the car, take the tyre off, get the inner tube, repair the puncture, put it under water, make sure no bubbles come out, put it all back together, put the whole wheel under water, make sure no bubbles come out. That's when cars had inner tubes. That's a long time ago, isn't it? I remember my dad got hold of a big red inner tube. He said it was from a tractor. I don't know where he got it from. And it was pumped up. It was a huge thing. And we used to take it down to the beach in the sea. Probably dangerous, actually, because it might float away on the tide. But I do remember that because I can't swim. Remember, I bear that in mind. So I'm on this huge tractor-size red inner tube floating around on the sea. Probably dangerous, as I said, but great fun, though. Talking of the beach, I didn't like having a picnic on the beach because no matter how careful you were, you got sand in your sandwiches. You do not want sand sarnies. Not nice. It just happened. I don't know why. It was all right on the beach having a picnic if the sun was out and there weren't too many people there. I've said this before, haven't I? Have you noticed in the summer you go to the beach or wherever, a park, okay, somewhere like that, you settle down where there's not many people and someone will come and sit right beside you. They'll put their blanket right next to yours and sit right where you are. Especially on the beach, that used to happen, and it did used to annoy me. I just don't know why they do it. Why, there's a whole beach. There's miles of sand. Why come and sit right next to us, just 2 or 3 feet away? It was just, I don't know why people do that. They're mad. It's the same in our doctor's surgery. I was round there back in the summer. It was empty. There was no one in there. Loads of chairs, so I went and sat in the corner. This woman came in. She came and sat right next to me. Right next to... Why? I don't know what's wrong with these people. I don't know why they do it. She didn't chat or anything. If she wanted a chat, she might have been a lonely sort of person living on her own, wanted to chat to someone, fair enough. But she didn't. She just sat there. When I went on the Waverley, the paddle steamer, was that 2 years ago? Whenever it was, 3 years ago. We had to get a bus back from Southampton docks. which is quite a long way. It was night time and it had been a long day. I'd had enough. I just wanted to get home. I sat on this bus. This chap came on, sat right next to me, and all he did, all the way from Southampton back to Worthing, talk, 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 rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. What did you think of the Waverley? Did you see the engine? Did you see the dolphins? All right, he was only chatting, but I didn't want to talk all the way back. What was it, hour and a half? Rabbit, 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 talk, talk, talk all the way. I was just glad to get off the bus. And the seat was horrible. It was like sitting on a rock. I don't like buses. I like trains. Trains are okay. Not if they're packed, though. That's horrible. I've just been following another weather balloon on the computer. It took off from Salisbury and it's landed in the sea. It came almost over Worthing, landed in the sea off Eastbourne. So that's that. It's floating around. Well, it's probably sinking by now. Hello, Stuart. Lovely to hear from you. You've been saying, you emailed me and you said that the local Rotary Club have a traditional purpose-built Santa and sleigh. Yeah, I remember that. It was good. It was good fun. And it travelled around all the streets playing carols and collecting donations door to door. It was a lovely experience, as Stuart says. Yes, we've had all that, Stuart. Coming up our road, all the singing and the lights. It was lovely. Tonight, he says, they visited my road. The sleigh has gone, replaced with a car, playing Last Christmas by Wham, and a few lights draped over the roof. Santa walks along the pavement and waves. And that's it. It's awful. We used to have all sorts. On a Sunday morning, we'd have the Salvation Army. Is it the brass band? The Sally Army. That was great. OK, some people said, 8 o'clock Sunday morning, do we have to have that noise in the town? But it was great. That's all gone. Everything is going, isn't it? Everything is disappearing. I don't quite know what we're going to end up with. Nothing, I suppose. I said recently, didn't I, used to have the Sally Army come round the pubs selling their war cry magazine. People would put money in their pot. We used to have the fish people, the shellfish people, with a big wicker basket coming round with slugs and bits of eels and chopped up whatever octopus. I don't know what it was. I didn't eat any of it. I didn't like the smell of it. That's horrible. Friend of mine, actually, he loves the sea. He loves yachting. He loves everything to do with the sea. But he is allergic to seafood. He can't eat anything if it's come out of the sea. Fish, whatever, snails, slugs, whatever I don't know what they are. Jellyfish. Do people eat jellyfish? No, they don't, do they? They're poisonous, aren't they? But yes, poor old Dave. Pod, we call him, poor old Dave. He can't eat anything that's come out of the sea. I've just been sent a silly joke. During the COVID lockdown, if you had family round on Christmas Day, the police would kick your door in and make them go home. Does anyone know if this service is still available and is booking required? Get rid of the family. That's funny. Who sent me that? Oh, it was John. No, it wasn't. It was Paul. So I'm confused. It was Paul. Thanks, Paul. Just checking my notes here. Don't forget to look out for the deliberate mistake. Have I said it already? Or have I not said it already? Is that to come later on in the episode? You don't know, do you? Neither do I. Don't miss out on that. I keep getting beeps. My phone keeps beeping. What's happened is we've got a new person that's moved into our street and they've joined the WhatsApp thing. I'm the boss or the administrator or whatever. I'm in charge. And I've just added them to the list of people in our road on the app. It says here, chips in newspaper. There was something about fish and chips in newspaper. People started saying, you can't have that. The newsprint's bad for you. The newspapers are all second-hand. People have thumbed through, licked their fingers, thumbed through them, sneezed into the papers, coughed all over them, so they're covered in germs. That didn't matter. The salt and vinegar got rid of the germs. The fish and chips were lovely. Probably helped. I tell you what, it probably helped in the old days when people weren't obsessive about washing their hands, washing everything, dishwashers, In the old days, you'd wash all your plates, knives and forks in a sink full of, halfway through, what was very dirty water, wasn't it? Filthy water, bits of old grease and stuff floating around in it, bits of potato, bits of meat. Give it a quick rinse under the tap, wipe it up with a dirty cloth, back in the cupboard. I'm sure that back in the old days, we were healthier because of the germs. We were used to germs. We went out there and we got germy. We had filthy hands and stuff. These days everything is so clean. You spray detox everywhere. Anything that anyone's touched, oh, someone touched the door handle, spray that in case we get diseased. Everything is now so clean. I think that, I don't know, I just don't think it's good for us. It's one thing being hygienic. I mean, we don't want to go around smelling, do we? It's one thing being hygienic, but I think it can become over the top and people can be obsessed with it all. So, of course, when a germ does come along, oh my goodness, oh, I feel ill, it's dreadful. What are they called these days? Snowflakes. A snowflake, that's funny, isn't it? People are called snowflakes. Oh dear, what else? What else can I go on about? Let's have a look at my notes here. I haven't got. It says Mum's cooking. Mum's cooking was good, wasn't it? Back in the 50s and 60s, you'd get in from school. She's baked a cake. Fruit cake was my favourite. You got a jam sandwich and a glass of orange juice waiting on the kitchen table for you. She got a pie in the oven, which was cooking away. She'd shelled all the peas she'd picked from the garden, dug up some carrots, and pulled an onion out of the ground from the garden. Lovely, all homegrown stuff. Runner beans, and in the summer, tomatoes, cucumbers fresh out of the greenhouse. Lovely. My dad used to grow gooseberries, black currants, red currants. What else? Loads of stuff. Unfortunately, our garden's too small to grow anything like that. We did grow some Savoy cabbages one year, but the caterpillars destroyed them. These cabbage white butterflies kept landing on them. I kept shooing them away. I should have got a shotgun. Mind you, that would have blasted the cabbages to bits, wouldn't it? And left the butterfly in one piece, probably. Imagine the butterfly flying. What am I talking about? Okay, let's move on. Actually, I won't move on just now because it's nearly lunchtime. What day is it? It's Friday. We're not going to the club tonight. Trish is going out with her sister and her mum. They're going to see this Elvis Presley chap. Well, obviously it's not Elvis himself. It's this chap that thinks he's Elvis or something. They're going to see that. I've been twice. I can't go. I can't endure a whole evening of that noise. So I'm going to stay here. I will probably stay here and carry on talking to you. I'd rather talk to you than go and listen to some chap who thinks he's Elvis. Anyway, lunchtime. Cheese and pickle sandwiches are calling. Back in a minute. Well, that was nice. Cheese and tomato sandwiches, toasted. Lovely jubbly, with a couple of gingerbread men afterwards. I do like gingerbread men, homemade gingerbread men. Joan, thank you for your email. You're asking about TV programmes in the 50s and 60s. What did I watch? The ones I remember, I'm just looking up online actually. I remember Crossroads. Who remembers Crossroads? Wasn't it awful? Do you remember Amy Turtle? Her acting was atrocious. There was Sandy in a wheelchair. There was, who was it? Noel Gordon. She played Meg Richardson, didn't she? Noel Gordon. It was on every afternoon at 4 o'clock. I remember in the TV workshop, every afternoon at 4 o'clock. Do, 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 do. Do you remember the music? That was, I know, it's boring. It was something to do towards the end of the day in the workshop. It's 4 o'clock, couple of hours before we can go home. We've had enough of mending tellies. Sit down, have a cigarette and watch Crossroads. Coronation Street, well, that's still going, isn't it? When did that start? That started in the 50s, didn't it? Or very early 60s. Probably 1960 or earlier. Z-Cars was good. Who remembers Z-Cars? This is all UK stuff, of course. I know we have lots of listeners all around the world. You've probably heard of half of this stuff anyway, because it goes around the world. It's sold, isn't it, everywhere. Z-Cars was really good. What I liked in Z-Cars was the cars they use, a Ford Zodiac. You know, those big Ford Zodiacs or Ford Zephyrs, straight 6-cylinder engine. Lovely. I always wanted one. I still want one. I might buy one day. What's My Line? I've now found a list. That's why I'm reading from my list. What's My Line? That was a bit boring. The Saint. Simon Templar. Roger Moore. Who remembers The Saint? That was good. That was really good. When I see these programmes now, some of them you think, how on earth did they do that? It's dreadful. Others, like The Saint, bit tongue-in-cheek, but really good stuff. Apparently, where are we? Here we are. That The Saint was on ITV 1962 to 1969. Is that right? The black and white minstrel show. I didn't watch that. I thought that was rubbish. All this singing and stuff. I couldn't cope with that when I was young. The Avengers. That was good. Do you remember the Avengers? Diana Rigg. I had a bit of a thing for her when I was in my teens. Diana Rigg. I think, has she gone now? Has she passed away? Not sure. Oh, Please Sir. With Hedges. Was it Hedges? Duffy. And F.A. Frankie Abbott. That was great. I used to watch Please Sir every episode I watched. On the Buses. You remember that one? That was a little bit, I don't know, a bit corny, wasn't it? There was the driver, Reg Varney, and Bob Grant. He was the conductor, wasn't he? And they're sort of two not good-looking middle-aged men, and they've got these teenage girls after them, the conductors, the clippies as they called them. They're chatting up these I mean, it just didn't work. Teenage girls wouldn't want to go out with a couple of old blokes like that. Emergency Ward 10. I won't bore you too much. I'm just reading this list. It's bringing back a load of memories. That was good, Emergency Ward 10. Doctor Who, well, that's still going, of course. Dixon of Dock Green. Wonderful. I still watch that on Catch Up. No, not Catch Up. What is it? Talking Pictures TV. Doctor in the House. World in Action. Junior Showtime. Top of the Pops, of course. The Live of Birds. That was good. Steptoe and Son. Trisha hates that. I like Steptoe and Son. It's good. I mustn't go anymore. Look, Jack and Nori. Dad's Army. That's still going. Well, they keep repeating it. Crackerjack. Blue Peter. Armchair Theatre. The Golden Shot. Call My Bluff, Thunderbirds, The Prisoner. Oh, do you remember The Prisoner? The Champions, The Army Game, Robin Hood, Thank Your Lucky Stars, Take Three Girls, Softly Softly, Ready Steady Go. Look at it, Monty Python. There was I won't go on. There were so many brilliant TV programmes back then. What have we got now? Rubbish. Then we had the radio programmes. They were really good. Beyond Our Ken, Round the Horn, do you remember that? The Navy Lark, I'm sorry, I'll read that again. The Goon Show, I could never get into the Goon Show for some reason. The Clitheroe Kid, Hancock's Half Hour, that was good. The Dick Emery Show, all these were on the radio. It just doesn't happen these days, does it? The Archers, I mean, that's still going. The Archers, that's been going for about 100 years. Then there was, before the 60s, Music While You Work. Do you remember that? Sunday Half Hour, Desert Island Discs. That started in 1942, according to my list. Family Favourites, Down Your Way, Have a Go, Housewife's Choice, Letter from America, of course, I like that. Woman's Hour, 20 Mrs. Dale's Diary, Billy Cotton Band Show, Book at Bedtime, Listen with Mother. Honestly, the BBC, I know people knock them now, these days, all this defund the BBC nonsense, but back then, they were brilliant. Their news was brilliant, their world service. Round the world, everyone relied on the BBC World Service. It's a shame it's gone to pot, or it seems to have gone to pot. I don't quite know what's happened. They've been accused of bias and goodness knows what. But where are these programmes? I used to enjoy listening to them. As a kid, I'd have my radio, my old valve or tube radio by the bed. The dial lights glowing, so I could just see what I'm doing. Fantastic listening to the old radio programmes. Harry Worth, all that lot. Let's move on before I do. But there's your story now. I heard that. I have listed but a few. There's Itmar. Do you remember? It's that man. Right, that's enough. That's enough because you will be bored. So what else can we talk about? We've gone back to the BBC, which was good. We've gone back to the old programmes on the telly. What does the future hold for radio? Do you know, I've often been asked that, being a radio nerd as I am. What's going to happen when medium wave goes? There's no stations there. That's the AM band. What's going to happen? They're trying to close the FM band, aren't they? VHF, FM. They want to close that. Radio 4 long wave. They want to close that. There's going to be DAB left. That's it. That's all there's going to be left. And that's rubbish. I don't know. It is such a shame. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny. We're losing everything, aren't we? And pubs. No, don't worry, I won't go back on about pubs, but we're losing pubs. Shops are closing left, right and centre. Poundland we've got in the UK. Poundland. That started out where everything was a pound. I think it ended up more than that. But they're closing. A news flash today. More Poundland shops closing around the country. Woolworths went. But anyway, let's not go on about it all. It's boring, isn't it? Let's look at the future for a minute. What's good about the future? Hang on, bear with me. Oh, no, that's no good. Oh, what about... No. Oh, no, that's no good either. No, forget the future. Sorry if I've depressed you. Let's move on. Gary is now officially hibernating. He has gone to sleep, or whatever he does, he's gone. That's it. He's snoring his head off. He's quite safe. He's in a lovely little place. Temperature is just right for him. Everything's just right. He went there today, Friday the 5th. So we've put that down on the calendar. He should hibernate for about 3 months, about 12 weeks. If he goes up to the 12 weeks, that's fine. He mustn't go beyond that. We will have to wake him up. So when he wakes up, it'll be March. And then we can look forward to the spring. I love the spring. Do you like the spring? Daffodils popping up, crocus, snowdrops, warmer days, lighter mornings, lighter evenings, the birds singing. Isn't it wonderful? Well, we're nearly at Christmas, aren't we? What is it, about 3 weeks now? Then we get Christmas out of the way. Then we've got the 1st of January, which I'm not allowed to mention. I can't afford another fiver, Marilyn. Stone the crows. And then we've got the summer to look forward to. Now, that's a brighter note, isn't it? That's much better. I nearly forgot. I don't understand this, but I've had emails. How is the last leaf on the cherry tree doing? It's gone. It's gone at last. That's it. That's the end of it. No more emails about the cherry tree and the solitary leaf at the top. It has gone. Right, end of. I think we're going to have to move on from Gary the tortoise. Well, he's hibernating now, so not much to say about him. The tree leaf has gone. We need to move on. What else can we go on about? What else is there that will prompt hundreds of emails? The bird baths, both of them in the back garden this morning, were solid lumps of ice. We had a severe frost last night. Went down to -3. Not too cold, -3, but a very severe frost. Of course, the frost depends on how damp the air is, doesn't it? Back to humidity at whatever percent. What did I say it was? I can't remember now. 93%, wasn't it, humidity? So it all depends on that. If the air is very dry, of course, there'd be no frost. Talking of puncture outfits, as we were, well, we were, weren't we, a while ago? Did you have the tyre levers to get the tyre off? I had a couple of those, or 3 or 4. You lever bits of the tyre off all the way around the bicycle wheel, then the whole thing comes off. Back then, all kids had bikes, but not only did they have bikes, they repaired them themselves. Well, most of them did, or their dad had a go if they were stuck. I actually built a bike back in the, well, that would be late 50s, early 60s. I built a bike. You know, I'm always banging on about going up the rubbish tip in the old days. I went up there, got a bicycle frame, got a couple of wheels, found an old chain, handlebars, all the bits, lugged them all home on separate occasions, lugged them all home, cleaned everything up. I painted the frame. I don't think we had aerosol paint back then, did we? Late 50s, early 60s. I painted the frame with a brush. Looked awful, but I didn't care. It was great. Cow horn handlebars, that went up in the air like cow horns. Fantastic. And of course, the first time you get on the bike that you've built yourself, it's brilliant. No brakes. I forgot to put the brakes on. We'll sort out the brakes later. Let's not worry about stopping. Let's worry about pedalling, see how fast we can go. Building stuff back then. We used to build radio transmitters. We repaired our own car, repaired our own bikes, motorbike, Lambretta scooter. You did all the work on it yourself. You didn't keep paying people. Fantastic days. No one does anything with their hands anymore. Well, apart from eat, lift up pints of beer and drink that. I might have a beer this evening. As I said, Trisha's out with her mum and her sister, watching and listening to this chap who thinks he's Elvis Presley. So I might have a beer or two. I've got to drive. Very often I have to do delivering and picking up of various people, but I haven't got to drive, so I might have a beer. Where are we? Is it Friday? No, I don't know what day it is. I don't keep saying that deliberately, I think I'll go senile. Don't ask Trish, because she'll say, yes, I am. Went senile years ago. It's Thursday, isn't it? It must be. Where's my clock? That's what Trish calls my Alzheimer's clock. It tells me the date, the day, it tells me the year. Just in case I forget what year it is. I don't know. Hang on, this is daft. It says Friday. Hang on, let me go and have a look at it properly. What does it say? Friday, 5th of December. Oh, stone the crows. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, let's not worry about what day it is. Who cares what day it is anyway? Fiona, nice to hear from you. Fiona lives in Australia. G'day, cobber. How you doing, Fiona? Your summertime's coming. She said, and she's quite right, that I mentioned people having Christmas dinner on the beach in Australia while we sit here in front of the coal fire, looking out of the window at the snow. I did say that. She says we have never had Christmas dinner on the beach and we never will. If everyone in Australia went to the beach for Christmas dinner, the beach would be crowded, absolutely crowded. So that couldn't happen, could it? Fiona says what we do for Christmas is a barbecue, sit in the garden, swim in trunks, shorts, bikini, by the pool. Oh, wonderful. But Fiona, be honest, does that feel like Christmas? I suppose if you've always lived in Australia, if you were born there, then that is Christmas. By the swimming pool, having a barbecue. Had you come from here, had you come from England and gone out to Australia to live, then you'd be thinking, well, this isn't Christmas. Where's the ice? Where's the cold? We're not shivering. Where's the snow? I suppose it would be the same if you came to live here. You'd be thinking, what sort of Christmas is this? I brought my bikini with me. I was going to sit by the pool in the sun. I've had to put a coat on instead. I don't know. So not everyone has Christmas dinner on the beach in Australia. OK, fair enough. Another change of subject. Kellogg's cereals back in the old days. Rice, sugar, cocoa powder, salt, barley malt extract, riboflavin, whatever that is, and thiamine. Now, the same cereal, rice, doesn't laugh, rice, sugar, cocoa mass. What's cocoa mass? Fat reduced cocoa powder, barley malt extract, salt, palm oil, flavouring, vitamins, niacin, B6, riflavin, B2, thiamine, B1, folic acid, vitamin D, iron, emulsifier, soy, what's that, lecithin, glazing agent, Camembert wax, acidity regulator, sodium carbonate. Let's stop there. Crikey, what's going on? I thought cereal was good for you in the morning. It's like eating a chemistry set, as I said earlier, with that cake. Make a cake from a chemistry set. I don't know, it's put me right off, I tell you. My nan used to make her own butter when she was young. She was born in 1900, and she said back in the old days they did everything themselves, make butter, make cheese even. She didn't make cheese, some people did. But she made this butter, and she told me it was quite straightforward. She had a proper butter churn. I saw it, like a barrel thing that you turn the handle. Only a smallish one, not a huge thing. And she said it was basically milk and, was it salt or something? But she made her own butter. That's quite amazing, isn't it? And she did say to me, and when she was older she didn't, of course, she didn't make butter then, but she did say that you've tasted nothing like it. You make your own butter, it is just totally different. Of course, these days, butter isn't butter at all, is it? Not this spread stuff they make. We talked about that the other day, didn't we? What's it made of? Sunflower seed and a bunch of chemicals and I don't know what, lark's vomit, eye of frog, toe of newt and whatever they put it. I'm sure they don't put that in it. But my nan, she would have been 115. Yeah, 115 now, had she carried on. So making your own butter, that's a thought. She was from the days of making things like, was it bone broth or something, something equally disgusting, boiling up bones and, was it marrow-bone and, oh dear, marrow-bone? No, marrow-bone's a place in London, isn't it? On the Monopoly board. Marrowbone, isn't it? Marrowbone. The jelly stuff inside bones. Oh, let's talk about something else. Talking of making things yourself in the old days, I was listening to a couple of old ladies having a natter the other day. They were talking about making clothes in the old days, how they would make clothes out of anything they could get hold of. This must have been during the war years. I think you could buy, not sacks, was it? No, something that animal food came in. These sacks of some sort or other. They weren't like hemp. They weren't that sort of sacking, And they made dresses out of this stuff. It was quite interesting listening to them. People wouldn't dream of that today, would they? Imagine giving a teenage girl or young lady in her early 20s an old tablecloth. Make a dress out of that. Well, for a start, she wouldn't know how to do it. And if she did, she wouldn't wear it. She'd say, I'm not wearing that. It's a tablecloth. I'm not wearing that. What did they say in the old days? Make do and mend. Mend and make do, wasn't it? Mend and make do. They were so resourceful. Not just the men, but the ladies as well. Making things, making clothes, knitting. Everyone was knitting in the old days. Everyone was mad with their needles going click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. Wherever you went, you sit on a train and there's old ladies knitting. In the cinema, there's old ladies knitting. I remember that because I remember thinking, They're knitting whatever it is in the cinema. The place is full of cigarette smoke. It's going to stink. Whatever it is, a scarf or a baby outfit or something, it's going to stink of cigarettes. I suppose they gave it a wash. I don't know. Can you wash wool? Yes, you can. And that's another thing. We were sorting out some winter clothes the other day, and I said to Trish, I'll have those woolly jumpers there. And she passed them to me. We keep everything in the loft, all wrapped up in the summer, you know. And in the winter, we keep the summer clothes up in the loft. I said, yes, I'll have those. They're nice, proper woolly jumpers for the winter. And she said, they're not wool. I forget what they're made of. She did tell me. I haven't got any wool jumpers or scarves. It's all whatever it is. In the old days, it was all wool. I mean, what's happened? Has the sheep gone or something? Have the sheep gone bald? Got bald. There's no wool left. Or if there is, I don't know where it is. That's something else that's changed for the worse, isn't it? What's going on? Things started to go wrong when they discovered that you could make nylon from oil. They get oil out of the ground and make nylon sheets, nylon shirts. And in the summer, people would stink, drip dry. Do you remember the adverts? Was it Brentford nylons? Drip dry shirts. The sheets were awful. We did have some nylon sheets once. After a couple of nights, that was the end of that. Back to cotton sheets. I've never had a nylon shirt. I know people that have had them in the summer. I won't go into that in case you're eating your breakfast or your evening meal, possibly. A barbecue out by the pool in your bikini. Happy days. I'm going to make a crystal set radio, you know, a kind of replica from the old crystal set radios years ago. And going back to my nan, I remember her telling me that their first radio, was this the 20s or the 30s? They had headphones. You couldn't walk around the room listening to the radio as you do now. You had to sit there with the headphones on and keep twiddling the thing to keep it in tune, I suppose. I remember her telling me that because I said, have you still got the radio? No, that had gone. Be worth a fortune now. A radio from the 1920s. Her real entertainment, no TV of course, no radio not to speak of. The real entertainment was the cinema. She'd go to the cinema as often as she could when she could afford it and watch these films. Would they be the silent movies? I think they would, actually. I think they're the silent movies back in her day. When was Charlie Chaplin around? I don't know. I like Laurel and Hardy. Tricia doesn't. I just love Laurel and Hardy. That slapstick stuff is very individual humour, isn't it? I love Tommy Cooper, John Cleese. Other people can't stand. I won't tell you what Tricia's dad called John Cleese, because it's rude. I think they're brilliant. But whatever, we're all different. But the cinema in the old days, that was it, wasn't it? And before radio, of course, I had newspapers, but Pathé News at the cinema, the news. Imagine that. Imagine having to go to the cinema to watch the news. I mean, now it's on your iPad, your earpad, your iPad, or on your watch. It's on my watch. Look, I've got the news here. Look, here we are. Scotland will face 5-time winners Brazil, Morocco and something. I can't read that. Wrong glasses. It's all very well having the news on your watch, but you've got to have the right glasses on as you get older. Okay, let me know. Has anyone made their own butter or cheese? Raise rants at protonmail.com. I wouldn't mind making cheese. Don't you have to store it, though, for like 150 years so it matures? I've got a bit of a funny throat, haven't I? I don't know what's happening. Winter, I suppose. I don't want a cold. Tricia had a severe cold recently. I didn't get it. Amazing. That's something they've never been able to cure, isn't it? The common cold. They've tried everything, but they can never get rid of it. Everyone gets colds. They have done for hundreds of years. Do you reckon that they used to have colds and flu and the rest of it in the Stone Age days? I bet anything they didn't. They didn't have germs like diseases like that. Do you reckon they had cancer? These other dreadful things. Mother-in-law and I were talking the other day about when we were young. I had mumps. I had glandular fever. I had whooping cough. What else did I have? And the doctor at one stage thought I had diphtheria. I remember I was about 8 years old. He stuck a needle in my bum and injected me. I don't know why he thought I had diphtheria. So we had measles, chicken pox. We were talking about all the different things that we'd had back then. I had rheumatic fever, apparently. I also ate deadly nightshade berries. I think I was trying to kill myself. I was about 3 years old. But do you think the Stone Age people had any of that lot? Did they have measles, mumps, chicken pox? I don't think they would have done. So where did it all come from? Is it because they lived a healthy physical life and they ate, I don't know, fresh meat. And what did they eat? Did they have vegetables? Did they have carrots? And they wouldn't have had carrots, would they? Do you know, that's something else I've thought of. Runner beans, tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, cabbage, lettuce, all that stuff, salad stuff, everything like that. Fruit. Did they have that in the Stone Age days? No, I don't think they probably did. So what did they eat apart from meat? Originally, I suppose, raw meat. Where have all these vegetables come from? The seeds must have been there somewhere, don't you think? They must have been growing somewhere for people to cultivate them. I mean, you can't manufacture carrot seeds, for example, can you? They must have been there already. And a lot of plants, a lot of veg and fruit must have gone over the years. It's no longer. Perhaps it died off and the seeds withered or whatever they do. I don't know. Perhaps it's extinct, like some animals. Can you have extinct vegetables? I expect so. Thinking about it, these vegetables must have been around and the Stone Age people must have eaten them. You come across a carrot growing in the ground, you're going to pull it up and think, oh, what's that? And try it, aren't you? You're going to try it, eat it. Well, that tastes nice. I'll take some of that back to the cave for the old lady, for the missus to cook on the fire. No, seriously, they must have found the fruit and stuff somewhere. There must have been apple trees, pear trees that the Stone Age people enjoyed along with their meat. That's their pudding, isn't it? So you have a steak for your meal and an apple and a pear for your pudding. The wind is terrible. I can just about see the flag. It's pitch dark out there. It's 7:15 in the evening. The flag is going to rip itself in half in a minute. Dreadful wind and lashing rain. It's awful out there. I suppose, though, it's that time of year, isn't it? Of course, in our house, we've got 4 chimneys, 4 fireplaces. There's one under the table here where I'm sitting. It's an open fireplace. I've got the table in front of it. And the wind howls down the chimney. And it does in our bedroom. I'm laying in bed at night and I can hear this wind. And also, pigeons sit up on the chimney going, coo, coo. Oh, what do they do? Coo. I can't do pigeon noises. They sit up there doing that. And you can hear it coming out of the chimney. It's quite good. I don't mind that, actually. I don't like the seagulls sitting on the chimney because they scream. And coming out of every fireplace in the house, you can hear screaming seagulls. Coming to the end of the Sunday hour-long episode now. How are you all? Raise Rants at protonmail.com. How are you lot over there in Seattle? Amy, Clive, Doreen. How are you doing, Doreen, over there? Hope everything's okay. Is it cold there? You're further north than us, aren't you, Seattle? I'll have to follow the lines. I always get mixed up. Is it latitude or longitude? The ones that go round, following the equator. Are you north of us? I'll have to look it up. I've got a globe. North Carolina Sun, years ago, gave me a world, a globe. And where is it? It's downstairs. I must have a look. Next time I go down, I'll have a look at that. I think you're further north, Seattle. I'm not too sure. Because you're not far, or that far away, are you, from Alaska? That's freezing up there. Who would live there? I've said before, haven't I? Who would live up in Iceland or somewhere? Or Norway, up the top of Norway? Sweden, Finland. Oh, it is cold all year round. It's dark all year round. I suppose if you're born there, what do? You haven't got much choice. I do wish Great Britain, the islands, could just move a little bit further south. Well, no, we'd run into France, wouldn't we? But just a bit further. Perhaps if we go west and then down a bit. No, that's the Bay of Biscay. We'd ought to go there. Stone the crows. That's a rough bit of sea there, isn't it? I have heard it said that one day we'll be growing bananas here and things as the climate changes. I can't see that happening in my lifetime, but that would be nice, wouldn't it? Grow your own bananas in your back garden, oranges, lemons. I wonder whether that will ever happen. It probably will. I don't know how many hundreds of years, but things will change. Do you think we'll have an ice age again? Well, we won't be here, will we? An ice age. Imagine that. There's me saying, what was it, minus 60 degrees or something? Up at 64,000 feet. Well, it might be minus 60 here, where we are now, one day. Ice age. I was listening to a chap on telly the other day in a big sort of country mansion. The family's been there for 400-500 years or something. And he said, we don't own this. They do own it. But he said, we're just caretakers, We come along, we're caretakers, we have kids. Then it's their turn. We die off, they're caretakers of the place. And so it goes on. And I suppose we are just caretakers of the earth, aren't we, the planet? Having said that, we're not actually taking a great deal of care, are we? I think we're letting it go to rack and ruin. But that's all we are, because we're here for such a short time, aren't we? Look at the billions of years, and we're here for what, 80, 90, 100 years, if you're lucky? So we're just caretakers, aren't we? Right, you lot, lovely having a chat with you as always. A friend of mine said the other day, I love your videos, this is the radio videos. He said, I feel that you're talking to me, not a load of people, just me. And he said, I like that. I have been compared in the past to Jack Hargreaves. People have said, you're like Jack Hargreaves in your shed. This is the radio videos. And he said to me, you're like Fred Dibner. Fred Dibner? He's a steeplejack, wasn't he? Does the steam engines, the traction engines. He reckons I'm like Fred Dibner. He's got that northern accent. I can't do accents at all. Not at all at all. To be sure, so I did. So apparently I'm like Jack Hargreaves and Fred Dibner. Someone said the other day I look like Stephen Fry. Stone the crows. On that note, I'm going to clear off. I'm going to have a beer, actually. It's now 7:30. I'm going to have a beer. Why not? Because it's Friday, not Thursday. It's Friday. What's tomorrow? If it's Friday today, what does that make tomorrow? I've no idea. When I wake up tomorrow, 4 o'clock in the morning, I won't know what day it is and I won't care. I shall see you Wednesday. Have a good week. Look after yourselves. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't do anything silly. Be good. If you're bad, don't get caught. Look after yourselves. That's the main thing. Email me. Lovely to hear from you. raiserants@protonmail.com. Be great to hear from you. And I shall see you on Wednesday. Look, we're a few minutes short of the hour. That's it. I'm going to be reprimanded again. I'm going to get the emails. Oh, you said it would be an hour episode. It wasn't. It was 56 minutes, 57 minutes. I'm talking nonsense now. Take care. Bye-bye. See you Wednesday.